We're here with Guilherme Blanc for HYPER Annotations 3.0, triple ampersand's public program. Guilherme, thank you for being here.
Pleasure.
Guilherme is from the Batalha Cinema Center. Can you tell us a little bit more about your institution, but also about your role within that institution?
Yeah, so I work as artistic director at Batalha, and we are a film center, so we are an art center for film and moving image. We do program screenings and do a lot around the cinema room in terms of discursively and in terms of education as well, performance, sound. And we also do exhibitions with moving image, which we install across the center. It's a very peculiar building, kind of a modernist landmark. So one of our tasks is to take full potential of the spatial scope of that building. So that's what we do. We work with moving image and film in between those fields, basically.
And what are you doing here at the Venice Biennale?
So I'm visiting, which is relevant, researching as well.
Yeah.
It's always a great opportunity, and connecting, seeing friends. We're also co-producing 3 projects that are taking place. One outside the main exhibition, a film by a filmmaker and artist called Saudade Ismailova, at this exhibition called Nebula. It's a group show only with film, with artist film, organized by In Between Art and Film Foundation. So we are involved in that film, which will be showing installed later in the year. And then we're also partner of 2 pavilions, the Portuguese pavilion and the Catalan pavilion. And we'll be hosting the international circulation of both pavilions, starting now in June and then onwards in the year.
Can you tell us a little bit about the role of cinema in the Venice Biennale, whether it's this year or more broadly? Does it have a specific place? Is it just one amongst many art forms that are present here?
I'll say it's one amongst the many. For many years now, cinema has found its place within contemporary art. So I think it is displayed and horizontally with other types of practices. I find actually this year there is less film in the main exhibition, which is interesting. There is special attention to painting, embroidering and sculpture, and film is less present, sadly, I'll say. But yeah, we'll always find film over the past years, and even in this edition.
If I may ask you a slightly pedantic question, do you think it's more cinema or simply video art or film art that's present in Venice? Or would you say it's cinema in the more sort of classical narrative theatrical sense?
Well, part of our work is actually to dilute that kind of border in terms of language. So I would say it's film, or we can call it artist film. It's movie. It's cinema, moving image. Of course, it's not the cinema that it's being industrially developed to theatrical releases that we find here. So we're talking about, film projects developed by artists, and they have their specificities, and formally and in terms of display sometimes, of course, and that impacts on the object.
Okay. Fantastic. And we like to end things with a sort of light question, but I want to ask you, are there any pavilions or even specifically films this year that you're particularly excited to see, or perhaps some really good ones that you've already seen? Or some just notable ones, if not just good?
Well, I've seen little so far. I mean, the Nebula, it's always a great show to see. It's a group show with many interesting and relevant artists, from Saudade Ismailova to Basir Mahmoud, Basel and Juan from Palestine, amongst other great artists working with film in our time, and it's a great opportunity to see film well installed, and all of the films are commissioned. So I think it's rare to see film in Venice for the second time. They started in last Biennale, and now they've continued. And it's a very good exhibition. And then in the central pavilion, I mean, I've seen John Akenfra's show at the UK pavilion, and it's only with film. That's his practice is based on film. It's worth visiting. And also in the main show, a film that stood out for me. It's a film by a Brazilian artist called Mano Clandestina, who I didn't know about. And plays around queerness and trans culture. It's a biographical film She has a film both here and at the main and Arsenale, but the film here, the displayed here, is particularly good. I thought.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that really is worth noticing in terms of moving image and film within the main show. As I said, it's very noticeable that there is less examples, less film being included this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much, Guilherme.
Yeah, well.